Okay, let's take a look at the top menu bar. So moving across from left to right here, it looks very similar to a Keynote or to a Pages. I can add a page to my book. So simply when I click on that, I have a couple of different choices to choose from. I can add a different chapter, I can add a different section, or I can add pages. If I want just a blank default page, I can choose from that or all the way up to 3 columns. If I'm going to add a section here, I'm just going to choose another section, and then I'm going to add a page to that section. So here is an example of just kind of adding on to this chapter 1 here. It has 2 different sections to it, and if I wanted to go here to section 2 and title this, I can just click on that hotspot and I can say, I can give it my title here. So we're going to name it Parts of a Circle, and again that's going to update my table of contents. Here's section 1.1 and 1.2, History of a Circle and Parts of a Circle. If I wanted to add another chapter now, I'm just going to click on that chapter, and you'll see that it comes down here and it's dropping it into this outline view here. So in chapter number 2, I'm going to have a section, and in that section I'm going to have a specific page. So that's kind of how you're going to do that. If I want to name this is going to be the perimeter of a circle. So we might also call that the circumference. But notice that changes the chapter title here on the left-hand bar. And if I go to my table of contents, I'm going to see that chapter 2 is going to be named the perimeter of the circle. And since I have chapter 2 highlighted down here, I was in chapter 2, it's going to, and I went to the table of contents, it's only going to show me the table of contents from chapter 2. If I select chapter 1 and go to the table of contents, it's now just going to show me the table of contents from chapter 1. So that's how we're going to add pages and sections to our book. Moving across, I can change my view here. There's lots of different layouts for the view. So if I just wanted to look at my left-hand toolbar as an outline and not so expanded, I could look at it that way. I prefer to look at the thumbnails. I can also choose to show the glossary bar. So the glossary bar is going to pop up right here now, and as I'm typing in my words, I can add them to my glossary simply by adding the term. We'll show that a little bit later on, but I am going to keep my glossary bar turned on. The styles drawer is going to pop out here to the side, and again this is going to be a way for me to quickly and easily modify my font and give it some new styles. So I can also choose to show layouts. Now layouts is a way that I can kind of reconfigure my templates. So again, we'll show a little bit more of these advanced features when we get to the design part of this iBook. So right now I'm just going to hide my layouts, and I can also choose to hide the format bar. I like to have the format bar on, and rulers. Again, this is going to help guide me through. So if I go into my page where I'm going to add text, I can see the rulers here. Just as a side note, I also like to change this when I'm working on my Mac to 75%, just so I can see an entire page. Otherwise, I get too close to the bottom and then my little menu bar pops up. So I'm going to keep my rulers on. If I want to show my layout boundaries, again, this is going to show me just kind of my, my frames and my text boxes and how things are laid out on my page. And I can also choose to show the invisibles. So now they're visible. So those are the different views I can have there. I'm going to just change a few things back here, kind of the way I like them. I can also choose to look at this in portrait mode if I wanted to see what it was like in portrait mode. If I wanted to edit it in portrait mode, I'm mainly going to be able to edit the text and not so much any of the elements. So I'm going to go back to landscape. A text box is to add a text box here. Shapes, very similar again to PowerPoint or Keynote. So I can drag this in. It's going to automatically lay that on top and layer that and wrap that. I can insert in a table. So this table is going to launch my inspector. We'll get to the inspector in the next tutorial. This is going to allow us to change a lot of the number of rows, the way my table looks and acts. So I can also choose to throw in a chart here in which I'd have to give it some data, and that again is going to wrap on these pages. I'm just going to slide over here so you can see that. And again, we'll get to that in a little bit. along the way here. These different widgets. So again, we have these 9 different widgets that I can embed in my iBooks author, and this really adds the layer of interactivity to this book. So we're going to spend a lot of time on creating widgets and laying widgets out. I can choose to preview my iBook on my iPad, publish to the iTunes bookstore, iBook store. Here's the inspector if I want to just click on the inspector and launch it right from my top menu bar. I can also click on media to add in audio, photos, and movies right from my MacBook. I can change colors and I can change fonts as well from this top menu bar. So all things that we can do multiple ways within iBooks Author.